Hey, Real Nerds. There's many ways to enjoy the Real Nerds podcast. You can listen to us on Stitcher, iTunes, and now Spotify and iHeartRadio. You can see what we're up to around town by following us at Real Nerds on Instagram. And if you want to send us your thoughts, you can email us at realnerds@gmail.com or call us at 720-6nerds5. Like us on Facebook at Real Nerds Podcast or tweet us at Real Nerds. And now on with the show.
This is Real Nerds Podcast, and for over 10 years, the Real Nerds Podcast have seen a new movie and podcasted our experience to the world. This week, we went back and saw Venom. That just made me like choke.
You're not Eminem, you can't do it.
I know, Let There Be Carnage. I love that they reincorporated that song into the movie too. Stay tuned to the end of the episode where we will either recommend the film or not, play the trailer, and then spoil it. We also talk about movies we've been watching, movies that are coming out on Blu-ray, movie news, movies, the motion pictures of Hollywoodland, is what we talk about.
Motion pictures made in the world where George Reeves is dead and we have to solve the mystery. Because you said Hollywoodland.
Just so everybody knows, if you're not following us on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, Brad and I are having a contest of who can watch the most horror films during October.
That's putting it kindly. It's more like a war.
It is. It truly is.
And I'm a part of this too. But I guess I'm not at war with you guys. I'm just doing this because I did it last year anyway.
Yeah. For some reason, I decided I was going to like make it a contest and be like an asshole to Brad for it. I don't know why. I just decided it'd be fun to fuck with Brad on Facebook and Twitter.
I'm all for it. I'm going to come at you in a fun and
I hope you do.
over exaggerated way. And it's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And it's a cool way. I found this website. I forget the name of it. I have it bookmarked on my phone, but it's like All Things Random or something. Or like movies, I forget the actual name, but you type in the genre of the movie and how many like titles you want it to be, and then you just hit random and it will give you a bunch of random titles. So I do that. I've done that every day, and those are the movies that have popped up, besides The Invisible Man, which I did for research on Zach's podcast that I was on this morning. But
yeah,
that's how I'll be doing it going forward. Because I guess the only other caveat too is I have to own the film, which I own a lot of them anyways. But
yeah,
okay, so it can't be streaming; it's got to be only from your collection.
I mean, I guess if it's on streaming, that's okay too. I guess I should say I have to have access to the film. I'm not going to go out and buy like The Shining or something because I don't care.
No, I get you. It's funny because I think feasibly I would already lose the contest because the way I did it last year was I mixed it up. So it wasn't just films. It was also like radio horror stories and radio series that did horror stories like Lights Out and Suspense and Inner Sanctum. So I get to kind of change it up a little bit, but there are days when I do more than one movie. So I end up getting more than 31, but not each day. So I'm already kind of technically out of this contest because I don't think I'd hit the same streak.
So, Brad, you just have a stack. Did you randomly grab your stack, or
no?
Is it planned?
Usually, like most years, it's planned. Like I grab like 5 or 6. I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch these for Halloween season. But knowing that I have to compete against you, who has like a whole wall full of horror movies, I grabbed everything I could think of that was a horror movie on my shelf, and that's that stack. So it is quite dwarfed, and I will definitely be dipping into the streaming services.
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, when I look at my collection, I'd say almost 50% of it is horror. I don't know. It's always a genre I've liked. It's I should really look into that one time if I'm really bored one day and see the ratio of films I have to the genre.
Got to count everything, including Criterion and an individual label. I think your ratio is definitely going to be tied between that or Disney Animation. If I'm taking a stab in the dark.
Go ahead, Brett. Sorry.
I was going to say my strategy to win is just not get married and not have a kid. So I have plenty of time.
That is a good strategy. And I mean, because I've been out of town for so long that I'd have to, like, it's taken me a while to get back into the flow of things. But I have had time to watch a horror movie, even though I worked as soon as I got back. And today is my first day off in 8. So, yeah.
It's difficult. It can be difficult.
But, you just gotta, it is a good way to unwind from a job. And that's why I love movies, because, they're an escapism.
Yep. Allow you to drift off into another world. And Brad, if you need help, you can just come over to my place and take some stuff off my shelf. I'll help you win.
Nice. Tag team.
Nice.
Movies ask very little of you, so all they need is your attention. That's why they're great.
Yes, absolutely. So, Brad, are we still able to go around? Actually, you have something to announce for going around town.
I do. Hey, film buddies, follow me around Denver. This week at the drive, I'm just kidding. First of all, I just found out today that on Friday, Justice Team, the 48-hour film that Zach and I and a bunch of others made last August, is been selected to the best of screening, and it is already announced that it's it's nominated for some award. I'm not sure what it is, but it's getting one, and we'll find out during the screening. So
now,
very cool.
Corinne also helped out, and I would add way more than I did on the project. So
that's right. Yeah, she's not here right now. So Corinne did a lot more than Zach did, but still,
Zach,
we all contributed.
You should know when she's not here or you're not here, all I do is say you did way more and make fun of that person to see if they're listening to our podcast.
I get you. So temporarily, I'm better than most people. I got you.
Exactly. Doy.
Oh, I like this game, Peter Parker. I really like this game. But yeah, no, congratulations, buddy. I was curious. There was a lot of other good selections that came over from your screening that got in there. So I'm really glad that there's a nice batch of things going on there.
Yeah, it was shocking. There's 5. So there's more award winners than actual screeners. They narrowed it down to 12 that are actually going to screen. And then there's a bunch of others that are actually going to get awards but not screen for whatever reason. And from our screening group, which was like 10, I think, the preview night, 7 of them made it into the best of.
Wow.
Jesus. And 5 of them are
like
screening.
60%. Wow.
Yeah. 5 of them are actually screening. So
one of yours is screening.
Yeah, mine's one of them. Yeah.
Woo. Party.
Ours is, yeah. So
love it.
It's a shocking ratio from that group D. All good stuff. Like I said, when I was watching, I was like, this is the best, most solid block I've watched of all 4. And then,
you're proven correct.
Yeah, I did not expect them all to make I expect maybe 2. And then, they put 5 of them in there and give 7 of them nominations for something. And the awards are expanded this year. You can win best trailer and best poster too. So that could be what we're getting. It might not necessarily be about the film itself. So
best is the best.
I just realized, Brad, it's probably going to be for best poster. And the only reason it's going to be for best poster is because my name's on it. Am I getting this game right, Ryan?
Yes. Now you're picking it up.
I'd also like to point out that a unique thing this year is that you don't, as much as I encourage you to come down to the Bug Theater and watch them all, you can live stream them for free. So if you go to a website during the event and just connect, you can see what you can. Probably just watch all the films in the best of and watch the awards and Q&A. So again, I'd rather you pay the $10 and go to the theater and support the theater. But if you're like, absolutely can't go and still want to like find out what it's like, just jump on that live stream that the 48 will post. So
very cool. Wonderful.
Yep.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks. Yeah. Sorry, someone messaged me like as I was talking. Anyway,
did it say 7 days?
7 days.
Ryan knows what I'm talking about because it's the ring.
Yeah. So yeah, that's.
Congrats.
Yeah. Are we done with me? Can I talk about the? The 88 Drive-In is on its final 2 weeks of their season, and let's see, it's October 4th right now. So it looks like Monster House, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and Malignant are the final lineup. I think there's one more week after this, or maybe this is the last week. And then the Holiday Twin, starting this weekend, is showing obviously No Time to Die and Venom, Let There Be Carnage. No double features, just each on separate screens.
Nice.
Yeah. So
wonderful.
Oh no, my bad. Sorry. They are double features. Well, the one screen with No Time to Die has Addams Family 2 ahead of it. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right.
And then if you want to go to the Dairy Arts Center up in Boulder, I lied. The thing that I announced last week is actually happening this week. Friday, October 8th, you can see the film Knocking at Friday Night Weird at the Bodecker Theater at the Dairy Arts Center. As explained before, it's about a young woman who experienced a traumatic incident and is unnerved by a haunting knocking sound from the upstairs of her new apartment building. What is that sound? What does it mean? Stay tuned for this Swedish film from 2021 for more details on the happenings going on in this motion picture. Yeah. Tickets are available on the dairyartscenter.org for more information.
That reminds me, I drove all the way up to Boulder last Friday and knocked on that door for quite a while, and it was really embarrassing.
Oh, really? Oh, shoot. I'm sorry.
No. I'm just saying be more careful in the future, because that could be someone else who's not as cool as me.
Wait a second. The real nerds told me this, baby.
We jump on Twitter. There's someone flaming us for like wasting their gas and time.
Bring them on. Just bring them on over to the Ballyhoo page. I'll fight them there. This isn't the real nerds fight. This is my fight.
When Zach talks about the Dairy Arts thing, it's not part of the real. It's a Ballyhoo program, so definitely take it up with Ballyhoo.
Yeah, that's right. Take it up with the Yes or Your Ballyhoo review, where Jack Hanley, who helps run this program, has been on once and will be back. By the way, I guess I'll point out that next week they're showing Blowout with John Travolta, directed by Brian De Palma, which is a fun movie. So if you have any desire to go see that, you can check that out.
Real Nerds is not responsible for anything the Ballyhoo may promote. Talk about
the Ballyhoo is not responsible for Real Nerds or the jerkiness of one Brad Haig.
Yeah, the Ballyhoo are not. Do not represent the Real Nerds podcast.
Real Nerds podcast is not responsible for the happenings in John Claude Van Damme's Damn Van.
Actually, it absolutely is.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say,
what's another project you don't want to associate yourself with?
The Boy Who Stares. I was on that one.
Well, wow. Mean. God. Oh, God. Way to pull back. And I didn't. Hey, Ryan, for the record, I didn't mention it. He did.
You totally threw Van Damme under the bus.
I know.
Thanks for the setup.
I had it coming.
Easy, boys, easy.
I know. Hey, Ryan, don't get too alarmed, but I'm gonna have to take Brad out now.
No, I need this show to be posted and look cool.
Well, I mean, we can get Brad Bott to do it. I'm still gonna put his brain in a robot.
Cool.
We need to be able to finish our horror movie war. So
yes,
at least wait a little bit. At least wait a month.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll wait a month. Wait, what horror movie?
What?
Or contest.
Oh,
Ryan
yeah, the horror
Spectacular 2021.
No, you know what?
Brad Spectacular 31.
I'm getting this. Well, I'm also part of this contest, gentlemen, and also I was mixing that up with the idea that Ryan and I have been mulling over together, which is going to be a cool idea. So I'm excited for that. But anyway, cool.
Oh, cool. Yeah, just exclude Brad. That's fine. Whatever. Just move on like nothing.
Hey, Brad, would you like to join us on a fun writing adventure?
Oh, writing? No one likes my writing.
The script is done.
Yeah. Tell me you want someone to lens it.
You don't want to direct it? You just want to lens it?
I don't know.
Let him read the script first.
Yeah.
You can tell me, hey, Zach, your fucking writing sucks. And he just smashes it in my face and then beats me up.
Let me read the script and give you guys suggestions, and then we'll talk.
And then you just piss on it.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this about Brad. He's an award-winning director.
Oh, pardon
to be.
Pardon
Again.
me, Mr. Snooty
Yes.
Pants.
Multiple award-winning director.
Oh, multiple. Huh. Interesting.
See, when you're someone like me who has the kind of influence that I do in this town, yeah, you'll definitely be setting meetings with me as opposed to the other way around. So
Just imagining a Goodfellas push in on you, going like, Brad moves slow, but he didn't have to move at all. He could just wave his finger, and bam, something was taken care of in this town. Brad's the Polly of Denver filmmaking.
And that's what's going on around town.
Zach, you treated me like a fucking jerk. Now I got to turn my back on you.
Hey, movie news.
It's real news. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's kick off the news segment today with the updated news from today that the IATSE members have voted to authorize a strike. This means that most productions will shut down. Yeah. Give people proper working conditions, please. Not that hard. I don't know. Anybody have any thoughts on this?
Well, it seems it happens every few years.
This is one of those times where the major crew member guilds are the ones striking and not ones in the writers branch or acting branch. So this is pretty damn significant. And I, knowing some folks who work under the union, I'm very frustrated that they're being mistreated like garbage for this. So I am hoping that their conditions are met in due time so that they can get back to work and that they are given a safe environment to work in. So it sucks that it came down to that. Negotiations stalled with the AMPTP. They released a statement regarding the vote. The AMPTP remains committed to reaching an agreement that will keep the industry working. We deeply value our IATSE crew members and are committed to working with them to avoid shutting down the industry at such a pivotal time, particularly since the industry is still recovering from the economic fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic. A deal can be made at the bargaining table, but it will require both parties working together in good faith with a willingness to compromise and to explore new solutions to resolve our open issues. The conditions IATSE is asking for include things like not working 12-hour plus days, getting cost of living pay increase, changing the new media deal that was struck with the streaming platforms. A lot of this boils down to the streaming platforms playing wonky with like, well, we don't know if it's a proven thing or not. But as we've all seen with the lack of theater attendance and the rise in streaming is a relatively solid platform. And so therefore deals can be made to make sure that people are properly compensated. I'm sure more on this will keep developing as the days go on. According to Variety, 90% of all IATSE members voted, and those who did, 98% of those who voted were in support of the strike authorization. So this was a big, overwhelming support for shutting down until these resolves are met. So here's hoping that IATSE gets what they want, at least from my end.
As a popular...
No, go ahead.
Ryan?
I was just going to say, then don't work for David Fincher and his 100+ takes.
Yeah. I don't know how David Fincher runs this. I don't know if any crew members have had any complaints or not.
If you're doing...
Yeah, if you're doing those long days, I'm sure he might be part of that culprit, but I guess we wouldn't know unless somebody was to come out with specifics.
I was going to say, as a popular and influential director in Denver, who has only heard one side of this issue, I definitely have to say that there is way more content being produced than ever before, and it's bloated on the streaming end. So I'd have to definitely side with the unions on this one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I'll also say being a boom mic operator for Brad is a grueling, horrible job.
You'll work those 12 hours, damn you. We've only got 48 to complete it.
I'm speaking as a mediocre director who's not as good as Brad, that I really hope that they get their conditions met. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't know how many awards you've won, Zach, but Brad's won multiple.
I have a trophy that I
Zach
keep in the corner.
Trophies.
Yeah, I have one in the corner. They spelled the name of my movie wrong, so I don't really respect the institution that gave it to me.
But yeah, when you're reading things like those long hours and reduced meals and low pay, it's
I know Ryan doesn't have Instagram, but Brad, have you followed the IATSE stories, like the IA Stories Instagram page?
No, but I follow comedian Andrew Orvidal, and he talked about the IATSE working on those who can't, and he said who would have guessed the people who get shit done got this done,
It's sad. Some of the stories on that account, who are people who are sending anonymous messages, are telling some very, very terrible stories that it's heartbreaking to know the extent at which shit like this is still going down in the workplace in the film industry. And I mean, frankly, this extends to most industries that operate in this country. I mean, retail workers deal with this kind of nightmare on a consistent basis, except for the long hours thing. That's something they don't, but they don't get livable wages, and we certainly don't have proper treatment by our employers. So I'm hoping that it sets a good example for a better tomorrow. Any other thoughts, gentlemen?
Nope. Everybody deserves to have a good working environment and shouldn't be subjected to long hours and not be compensated for it.
So the other side presents a strong argument, to which I've heard very little so far. Go unions, get what you deserve.
Yep, solidarity. In other news, the lawsuit between Scarlett Johansson and Disney has been settled. Although the terms of the deal were not disclosed, Johansson and Alan Bergman had quotes respectively to respond to the occasion. Johansson said, "I am happy to resolve our differences with Disney. And I am incredibly proud of the work we've done together over the years, and have greatly enjoyed my creative relationship with the team. I look forward to continuing our collaboration in years to come." Bergman also told the Hollywood Reporter in a statement, "I am very pleased that we have been able to come to a mutual agreement with Scarlett Johansson regarding Black Widow. We appreciate her contributions to the MCU and look forward to working together on a number of upcoming projects, including Disney's Tower of Terror." The terms of the settlement were not disclosed, but if Scarlett Johansson's happy, I'm assuming that they acquiesce to a lot of her concerns and frustrations.
Well, yeah, I think at the end of the day, you're going to put my movie on streaming and you're not going to pay me for how much money I'd make at the box office. And I think she was more so just holding them accountable. And it's another thing. It's just, you can't treat people that way or take away what they're due, especially someone who's been in the MCU since Iron Man 2.
Yeah, and thankfully she did broach this subject, because otherwise it would have set a precedent for them not paying the actors what was disclosed in their deal and following the terms of the contract. And if something like streaming is to come up, then renegotiating that deal according to the service in which it'll be going to. It's an easy way of saying, Ryan, we should all go to the movie theater, right?
Well, I mean, between Venom and Shang-Chi, I think it's proving that if you put movies out that people want to see, people will go to the theaters and they'll pay, and you can have really good box office returns for it.
I agree.
I mean, Shang-Chi is at almost 400 million worldwide. And it hasn't even opened in China. So I'm just saying.
I would agree with you, sir. Hey, would you like to know that there's been another legal development in the world of one of your favorite franchises.
Okay.
Okay. This coming in off the wire over the week. Victor Miller, the writer of the first Friday the 13th movie, has received a court victory, and the Second Circuit Court of Appeals ruled in favor of Miller. They have concluded that he was not an independent contractor when he wrote the original 1980 slasher classic, and therefore he is entitled to authorship rights. As such, the copyright termination Miller filed is seen as valid in the eyes of the law, and the rights to Friday the 13th will revert back to him. But this only applies in the U.S. and only pertains to the original film, Friday the 13th, which complicates matters because I would assume this means it's because the Jason Voorhees that is in all subsequent sequels have very little to do with Miller's.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Ron Kurtz is technically the creator of Adult Jason, so.
Mm-hmm. It seems confusing to me because technically it is Jason in that first one.
Yeah, my guess is I think Victor Miller just wants the name of Friday the 13th because it's so synonymous with the horror franchise. Right. And, I don't know what to think of it. And it's above I read the ruling and I go, I don't even understand what the hell's going on. I just want them to make another Friday the 13th movie.
I guess feasibly it opens up the door since now he has the rights and it's no longer locked up in court. The big hurdle will be giving in to whatever Victor Miller is demanding out of the name. So
yeah, because I guess technically New Line still owns them because I picked up the Ultimate Part 7 figure. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't say Paramount. It says the Jason character is owned by New Line Cinema. So,
okay. So then so they basically have to cooperate with two different entities in order to get a new Friday the 13th out of the frying pan and into the out of the fryer and into the frying pan or whatever that analogy is. Anyway, long story short, maybe we'll get another Friday the 13th movie down the line. Who knows?
Hopefully.
This is coming off of some interesting news. Kino Cult is coming to your streaming services soon. It is a streaming service for free from Kino Lorber. This looks fun. Kino Cult will distribute the darkest thrills of visionary midnight cinema to fans at home. With our vast library built over 40 years and key partner labels in many genre specialties, we have enormous potential to hyper-serve genre audiences, the most passionate of all film lovers, with a selection of both new and rare films that they can't find anywhere else in incandescent HD. You will no longer need to live in a big city with great repertory theater to have access to this kind of curated cult gems that we are able to offer to you for free. It's interesting. It sounds like they're going to be offering films such as A Girl Walks Alone, Home Alone at Night, Dogtooth, Welcome to the Circle, Beasts Clawing at Straws, Forbidden Room, Chained for Life, Let the Corpses Tan. So a lot of like recent stuff that's come out in the independent circuit, but they're also going to have stuff like Mario Bava's films such as Bay of Blood, Black Sabbath, Black Sunday, a whole selection of exploitation cinema, 60s espionage films, 70s and 80s flashbacks, witchcraft and devil worship films. So we're in for quite a treat. I'm glad that it's free. That's actually a really cool idea. I'm assuming it's ad supported, but that I don't know. Ryan, you gonna give it a shot?
No, free? Yeah, why not?
Yeah, sure. Maybe we could do a review of it and see how we all enjoy it. And then moving on, AMC is taking a page out of the Alamo Drafthouse book and doing their own surprise screenings for the month of October. The Thrills and Chills banner is inviting moviegoers to embrace their scary side with a wide variety of films from all across the globe. The statement says, on all October, join AMC Thrills and Chills for horror surprise screenings. Get your tickets now for only $5 plus tax and sit down to enjoy a terrifying unknown selection, horror classics, new releases, and cult favorites, and so much more. They have listed all the dates in which this will be occurring. And only the runtimes. So they are revealing the runtimes, but not the movie. There is speculation that at least one of these titles is It Chapter 2 because the runtime is 2 hours and 49 minutes, which makes a lot of sense. But there is also speculation that Halloween Kills may be among the other surprise screenings. So we'll have to see. I don't know. I'd be willing to give it a shot at a certain point. With Halloween Kills coming out so close in the next week or 2 weeks or so, I highly doubt that it's going to be a secret screening of that movie anytime soon. So, and I don't know if I can take the risk on any given day. But I don't know. Ryan, you want to give it a shot and just try one random one out of the blue?
I'm always down to do that stuff.
It's mainly coming on Fridays and Wednesdays. So Friday nights and Wednesday nights. So we'll figure out
both those days. I'm fucked.
Well, there you go. Then I guess I'm going alone or with Brad. And I guess in that case, I'll just go alone. No.
Damn, cold.
Yeah, I know. Now I have a very specific piece of news. Oddly enough, this is this is oddly specific. The headline reads, the company that holds the rights to the Evil Dead franchise wants Ryan Frost to live in poverty. Yes, the news is coming out of the Evil Dead world that there will be an Evil Dead Groovy collection that will feature the Evil Dead 2, and the complete Evil Dead TV series Ash vs. Evil Dead series on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray and digital. When asked why they were putting out the releases, the company responded, "We want Ryan Frost to live in poverty and to not raise his child properly." So Ryan, how do you respond to such a boisterous attack on your wallet?
Bastards.
I think if you don't have the TV collection, the box art looks awesome. And it's coming from Lionsgate, so
there is some book with it too. But I don't. I mean, I'm not going to get it because I own all that stuff. I mean, I said that about the steel books, but I think it's like $90. I don't know. I mean, it looks awesome.
Yeah, and it does look like it still contains all the special features. So really, you are just buying this for new packaging and stuff. There is an additional quote. When asked what she thought of the news, Laura Frost responded, "Motherfucker better not." I just can't believe your wife talked to Slash Film.
The Scream Factory is still supposed to be releasing Army of Darkness in 4K sometime next year, so that's the one I'll hold out for.
Oh yeah, that's right. I do have an article here that Scream Factory said, "Fuck Ryan Frost and his stupid money."
Damn it! I knew it.
I don't appreciate the news being hostile to only you. And the last piece of news, I think, is the most important news of all time. In 2007, there was a movie called The Bee Movie with Jerry Seinfeld, and it's about a bee who sues humanity for honey. And the movie contained a lot of sexual overtones regarding a relationship between a bee and a human. If you don't think this is the case, rewatch that movie. Jerry Seinfeld made an overtly delayed apology on the sexual nature of the Bee Movie. He said, "I apologize for what seems to be a certain uncomfortable, subtle sexual aspect of the Bee Movie, which really was not intentional. But after it came out, I realized this is really not appropriate for children because the bee seems to have a thing for the girl. We don't really want to pursue that as an idea in children's entertainment."
Sure.
Why now? You went this long without apologizing for it. I don't understand. It's the Bee Movie. I don't think anybody remembers Bee Movie.
Yeah.
Except for me, because I'm just like, it's Jerry Seinfeld.
I don't know.
I mean, I went to the theater. My dad and I went because we're big Seinfeld fans. So of course we went, but it didn't really affect me to keep remembering it. So anyway, that's news.
Lots of movies are out on Blu-ray this week.
DVD releases and Blu-rays. Alrighty. Our October 5th release date comes with some wonderful selection in the monster world. For example, you can get the 4K edition of the Universal Classic Monsters. This contains Dracula, Frankenstein, the Invisible Man, and the Wolfman. Surprisingly, no Bride of Frankenstein, but maybe we'll get a volume 2 if y'all fucking buy it. And we are also getting the Steelbook releases of the 4K transfers of several of the Halloween films, including Halloween 1, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, and Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, complete with wonderful new Steelbook art and new 4K transfers for a lot of these sequels. So
I don't think they're Steelbooks. I think they're hard cardboard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were steelbooks. Oh, that sucks. Okay,
Wah.
I'm still getting them. That's what it's. I thought that's what it said on the press release. Oh well, whatever. Fuck. Anyway, buy those movies anyway. Support these 4K transfers. Maybe they'll get the rest of the series in 4K for me, even though I don't really need Halloween Resurrection on a 4K. Tex Avery Screwball Classics Collection Volume 3 is coming to you from Warner Archive. I know Ryan's already got that coming his way.
Be here tomorrow.
Yep.
With Super Monkey Ball, Banana Mania.
Yeah, there you go. You can
There's
also
a new
get
Monkey Ball game?
Yeah, it's like for the Switch.
It's not the Banana Blitz one?
No, it's called Banana Mania. It's the 20th anniversary of Monkey Ball.
What does one do in Monkey Ball?
You're a monkey inside a ball, and you have to collect bananas. It's kind of like Marble Madness, but with monkeys.
Okay.
And you roll them to their deaths as they drown slowly in the ocean.
So it's basically a remaster of all the Monkey Balls, and there's 300 stages, and it has 12 mini games, and it comes with a really cool packaging. It has like a little art book with it. Yeah, I'm excited. Brad and I used to play this on the GameCube all the time.
Damn.
Really?
Yeah.
This was a GameCube game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Need to get into video games, I guess. Moving on, Shout Factory is putting out a Don Knotts 5 film collection. This includes The Ghost and Mr. Chicken, The Reluctant Astronaut, The Shakiest Gun in the West, The Love God, ? And How to Frame a Fig, all coming to you through the Shout Factory collection there. You can also get on 4K The Hunt for Red October, starring Sean Connery and Alec Baldwin. I don't know if this is a Paramount Classics thing or not. It doesn't. No, Ryan, is this a Paramount Classics thing? Doesn't look like it.
Which one? I'm sorry.
Hunt for Red October.
Oh, I think is it a 4K? I don't remember. I don't know.
It's a 4K, so I'm guessing it's not the Classics collection or whatever.
No,
that's weird. But anyway, you can pick that up if you'd like. Shout Factory or Scream Factory is putting out Elvira's Haunted Hills, which I guess I didn't realize how many Elvira movies there were. I thought there was the one, but I guess this is another one, Ryan.
Yeah, it's one. So the Mistress of Dark, I think, is the second one. I forget how it plays, but it came out like in 91.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then I guess I'll just have to. I've never really been a Vampira guy or Elvira guy, but I'll have to check it out. I am a Vampira guy because of that.
I like the first movie's fun.
Okay, sweet. Maybe I'll check them out. Phantasm 1 and 2 is coming to you from Well Go USA in a special bundle pack. I still need to see these movies. They still look like a lot of fun. We're getting a new release in 4K of American Psycho, featuring some new artwork there. If you would like to check that out, you can. I guess the Dune release is coming to you from Arrow on Blu-ray and 4K. I thought this was already released, but I guess this is the non-standard or the non-special edition or something. Anyway, you can get David Lynch's Dune.
Arrow does that a lot, where they have a limited edition one, and then a few months later they release the, hey, if you want to get it but not spend the $50, here's the $30 version.
Gotcha. All right. Well, if you want to pick that up, you can. You can also get, as a new release from this year, Escape Room, Tournament of Champions, the sequel to the film that I forgot existed, and I'm sure everybody else forgot existed. But if you want to check it out, you can. You can also get Scream Pretty Peggy with Betty Davis from Kino Lorber, 1973 film. You can also pick up, wow, what the heck happened to my thing here? You can get the Stand miniseries from CBS All Access on Blu-ray. I have not seen it yet, but I would like to watch it for Mick Garris's little cameo there.
I just want to point out, I'm just scrolling through stuff. I said Super Monkey Ball has 12 mini games. I'm sorry, it's 12 appealing mini games.
Okay, I'm not going to play Monkey Ball now. How dare they make jokes?
It's a banana that pills. Get it?
Yes. Now, Ryan, additionally, when I said those Universal Monster 4K pack, you can also get individual releases of these in steelbook form at Best Buy.
Are they the 4K versions?
Yes, they are. The artwork is it's just the monster. So it doesn't have any cool like poster title artwork or anything. But it's basically the images of them that adorn the front of that 4-pack, individualized and specified to their specific monster. I kind of would rather have the ones that you got and just get the discs and replace them.
Oh yeah, no, the Alex Ross ones are amazing.
I know, and I regret not getting them, but I'll have to live with my failure, as I do on every day. And then you can also get from this year Space Jam: A New Legacy in 4K. So if you want to watch any semblance of footage from Casablanca in 4K, you can pick this up for $20 just to watch approximately 5 seconds of Ingrid Bergman. And that is Blu-rays.
We watch films and stuff throughout the week in a segment I call What You Been Watching.
So, yeah, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Brad, what you been watching?
A bunch of stuff, mostly horror movies. Just kidding.
Nice.
What If? I finally got caught up on What If, and finally, with the current episode, you know, one of the things I've been missing from this series is some kind of connection to like a larger picture, and that was revealed this week when it seems like the fourth wall has been broken, and it seems like this animated world might actually be another part of the multiverse. So, yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, it's it has this interesting thing to it where it's you know, that the Ultron vision can see into the multiverse.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Like I said, I think you weren't here last week, but I think when I was talking about What If, I was like, one of the cool things about What If is they have, you know, you can look at the background of some of the shots and the watcher is off in the distance watching what's going on. And that's like a haunting image. But the fact that like it's now part of like he's in his own universe and the characters in that can break through, it's just like nice.
Yeah, it was interesting because, you know, the watcher is supposed to be extremely powerful, but all he does is watch. So, I mean, you know, kind of a pointless dude. But
I thought it was just a narrator, you know, just someone created for the show to just be a guide, and it's becoming a character in the actual plot. So,
yeah, it's really interesting because it's kind of whiplash because the Thor Bro episode was really just silly. And
I thought it was the most fun What If I've watched so far. Like, he's just trying to like, he's basically like a college pro dude who is on spring break basically. Yeah, it's great.
It's fun.
Yes, that's good. Where'd my window go? Yeah, I watched that, and I watched Irresistible, which was the Jon Stewart, Steve Carell, Rose Byrne movie that I think Ryan watched.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. You know, the whole time I was kind of waiting for Steve Carell to be like revealed as like grifting these people, and in a way he kind of was, but it was even better when it turns out the town was grifting them.
Yeah. I do love Rose Byrne's character in that.
Yeah. She's just such a dick.
Yeah.
And then like the different endings was weird, but whatever. But yeah, it was just like a fun, like basically just an excuse to explain the idea that like, hey, just turn your town to a super PAC so you can like fund your town. Unfortunately, most people who need to know that strategy won't watch it. So I don't think so. There's that. I watched the season premiere of SNL with Owen Wilson. That was a lot of fun. Huge cast. A lot of new people. Don't know how they expect all these people to be on there. Like Kate McKinnon wasn't even in the episode.
Really?
Like,
Isn't she a featured player?
yeah, there's like a lot of featured players that like are listed, but they actually didn't get any screen time, which is crazy. Like the new people, repertory actually got a ton of time to showcase this week.
I guess maybe that's so people can see what the new people can do.
Yeah. Well, one of them does the Biden impression, so like that's a guaranteed like, you're gonna be a star real quick. But yeah, overall it was weird to like, yeah, Kate McKinnon wasn't on. I forget who else. Beck Bennett left the show, so he wasn't there. But Kenan Thompson. Oh no, he was in a film sketch and a live one. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, it was a fun show, and Owen Wilson was fun, and he flubbed a couple lines, but came back strong. He's probably the best, like, how like you watch SNL and you can see the hosts like really relying heavily on the cue cards off stage.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Owen Wilson did too, but like he really felt like he didn't need them. If that makes sense. Like you catch him glancing, but he was still like a really like falling character every time. So there's a great sketch where he's doing like voiceover for Cars 4, and like he says "ka-chow" and the audience goes nuts, and then like they don't have a full script for Cars 4. They're just getting random lines and for the animators to start animating with, and they basically turned Lightning McQueen into a sex predator. So he's just like getting these like horrible things like, man, I didn't realize your daughter's in college now. She looks way younger and stuff like that. He's just like, yeah. I don't want to say them all, but yeah.
Is the sketch online? I want to watch this now.
Oh yeah, they're all online. Yeah. Pretty much whenever they air, like within minutes, they cut them up on YouTube. And if you want to watch this full episode in its entirety, actually go to Hulu. Because on Peacock, they still do it as like separate clips. So like you'll watch Weekend Update and they'll be all out of order. Which is kind of frustrating. Because they'll break it up into like, hey, we had this like special correspondent on, so they'll just like cut that part into its own thing.
So that's neat.
And they did a little tribute to Norm Macdonald, obviously, as part of the show.
Very good.
So yeah, and then I watched Vampire Hunter D as my first challenge movie to get it Ryan, and it's dated. I like, if you heard my film explosion 2001, I enjoy Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust better because the animation's better, and the story is a little more succinct. This one is kind of similar. D's a vampire hunter, and he doesn't really get hired by the town in this one. He just wanders through and has to kill vampires and demons and whatever out of survival. And it just happens to coincide with this town who, I think the girl's name is Rose. Doris. It's Doris. And her little brother. And she gets selected and bitten by the Count Lee, who's like the most bored vampire ever. Like he's just bored with existing. Like, and the animation is just, he's usually sitting on a throne with his hand on his chin and like the mouth just moves. Because it's like 1985, and it's kind of like how anime was in 1985. But yeah, all the scenes are just like he's just sitting there looking bored, saying everything, in the voiceover that's more exciting than. Yeah, it's pretty weak.
I'd love to see a bored vampire. I still need to see this.
Yeah, and also I was thinking like, how is he like old? Like, wouldn't a vampire just always be young? It's not like he's struggling for people to bite. Like he's clearly been doing that. So
well, I mean, didn't Bram Stoker's Dracula, Ryan, have him reducing in age the more he consumed?
Yeah, so I guess in that one it's because he needed to feed more, and then the more he fed, the more he became young Gary Oldman
rather than Mr. Burns Gary Oldman.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe the same logic there. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
That's why I'm asking. Like, that's why I'm confused. It's like this Count Lee guy. He looks like he's 70 or 80 years old in the movie. He's drawn that way, but like his backstory is he's like a 10,000-year-old vampire who has been feeding on people constantly. Like he hasn't been starving. So shouldn't he just be a young guy? Like, is he so bored that he just doesn't hunt anymore and he hasn't been eating?
Can't a Dracula have the ability to get old and have regrets too, Brad? I mean, did you ever think of that?
I mean, he doesn't. His character doesn't seem like someone who's trying to get out of it. Like he bit Doris so that he could get a new bride and continue being Count Lee.
Okay.
And rain terror over everyone.
Maybe in the Vampire D universe, vampires are allowed to age, but slowly. So maybe 10,000 years equates to 70 years our time.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
The movie does have like more weird monsters in it, which is cool than Bloodlust. But also drags on because they're not as a part of the story. You know, it's kind of like Deal wander through an event and, you know, just some random like blob monster will drop out of the sky and we'll have a scene of fighting that. So,
I mean, short of digging up Bram Stoker and bringing him back to life to answer these questions, I don't think we're ever going to know the full answer.
Well, I think, every vampire movie plays by its own rules.
Yeah, that's true. For example, see Twilights 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, this one, D gets his hand cut off, crawls over, sews itself back on. Multiple characters get stabbed through the chest. They survive another day. So the rules are ambiguous and unnecessary. Sometimes
just enjoy the ride.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's all I watched this week. Oh, Ted Lasso. Penultimate episode to the season. Weird time to like put all these new developments in place to maybe resolve them all in the season finale. It's just, yeah. So suddenly there's just all kinds of complications between people's relationships in the penultimate episode that they didn't bother to drag out through the whole season. So I'm just like, oh God, what are we in store for next week to wrap all this up? It's going to be devastating.
That or it's cliffhangers for next season.
Yeah, I imagine there's going to be at least one cliffhanger. Like, yeah, one storyline is going to get
dragged into
extended.
Season 3.
But I mean, you just like 5 new things came up in this episode. They're just like, oh man, like now you're going to put like a wedge between Roy and Keeley before the
I mean, if you really want to know what's going on in it, you can see Corinne's spoilerific Twitter feed.
She's vague enough where I still don't know what's going on. I just know Jason Sudeikis is in it.
Yeah, I guess if you're someone who wants to enjoy this show cold, yeah, it's spoiler, but I don't think Ted Lasso is like a series that's just like hinges on surprises, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's not that bad, but
is it more complicated than The Blacklist?
Do not mention that fucking show.
No, Ted Lasso is apparently right now really about like mental health. So,
that the other show I mentioned is about mental health too, and the fact that it drives Ryan nuts.
I mean that is a complicated subject, but it's not convoluted like The Blacklist is, where it's just like any character can get anywhere they want at any time, and then
so can a Marvel character with magic.
Yeah, I don't know. You just have to watch The Blacklist to understand.
Okay, fair enough.
Like how convenient a lot of things are. Yeah, and actually I watched What We Do in the Shadows season 3 weeks ago, and that was a lot of fun, so check that out. That's all I watched.
Zach?
All right. Not a whole lot. As I've mentioned before, I'm helping out the Punk Rock Horror podcast for the month of October. And in prepping for it, I checked out some art house horror that I hadn't seen, and it helped kick off my own October festival of horror. So I watched for the first time the Oz Perkins movie, I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House. Story involves a woman who comes to take care of an aged author with dementia, and she's sifting through her books and realizes that one of the books that the woman wrote is something that a ghost told to her, and so the ghost is still living in the house. I liked it a lot. It's not the greatest thing I've seen, but it was interesting just to watch an 87-minute kind of mood piece. Ryan, you kind of got me on the Oz Perkins train with The Black Coat's Daughter, and I feel like it has the same vibe, but it's allowed to sit more because it's primarily just located in that one house.
He's not a director that is concerned about moving things quickly.
No, he's not. But like, have you seen this one, or have you only seen Black Coat's Daughter?
I have not seen that one.
I'm curious.
The poster always intrigues me, though.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what you think, because it goes in for more artistic aesthetic in certain moments, but there are other moments that are played very well for tension. There's flashback sequences in it that get very bloody but not gory, and there's an unnerving sense of dread because of the way the main character is narrating the circumstances. So it's a movie that I recommend people check out if you've got Netflix. It's got Lucy Boynton and Bob Balaban in there if you need some names to go with it. But Oz Perkins is a talented director. I liked Gretel and Hansel, and I liked Black Coat's Daughter, so I'm glad to be caught up with his work in that respect. I pulled up my Shudder account for the first time in forever. I really haven't used Shudder, but I've been paying for it all this time. I guess for $5.99, it's not a bad deal overall. And I watched an original movie on there called Fried Berry, from the director of Doomsday. It's a pretty intriguing film. I got a kick out of it. It's about a drug user in Cape Town who gets abducted by aliens, probed, inhabited by aliens, and he goes about a day in Cape Town, having sex with random people, partying too much, rehabilitating the relationship that the Barry character has with his wife and kid, and saving a whole group of kidnapped children from a weird guy wielding a chainsaw. It's a very trippy, out there movie, very much an episodic affair. The horror elements in it are a lot of fun, but a lot of the other visual aesthetic in it is just ramping up the intensity and trying to push anxiety. It looks like it kind of tries to go for the same vibe that Uncut Gems has in terms of how it keeps going and never stops. There's some unique traits in it, like halfway through this hour and 40-minute movie, you get an intermission that's all trippy and spacey and whatnot. So it was interesting. I was glad for the blind dive in. It's quite an interesting film if you want to check it out. I think if you're not into bottle pieces that have a lot of chaotic imagery like that, I don't think it's going to be up your alley. But if you're able to go on that kind of ride, I think you'll be surprised by how innovative it is with what it has to work with. And then Ryan, I'm happy to announce that I broke my Vinegar Syndrome cherry with a title called The House of Usher from 1989. The reason I picked this up at the Colorado Festival of Horror, along with other titles, this one I picked because I saw Donald Pleasence's name in the credits, and I've not seen every Donald Pleasance movie. So I'm appreciating getting to find new ones each time. In this one, he's with Oliver Reed, and it's basically a recreation of the House of Usher, with some small retooling to change up characters that are in the house with the family. And it's set in the 80s. The production is cheap. You can tell that the sets are made of cardboard that are supposed to be stone. However, there is something about the ambition that I appreciate, because with sound design, when it was released in the 80s, with whatever a film print might look like, depending on the condition, I guess you could feasibly have gotten away with it, but you can feel where they're cutting corners. You can feel where it's not up to snuff with a classic horror movie. I think it's why Vinegar Syndrome has found it and restored it. I think it is worth watching just to watch some of the performances by Oliver Reed and Donald Pleasance. Donald Pleasance is the brother of the main usher, Roderick, but it's changed from the sister to the brother in this version. And Donald Pleasance has a screwdriver hand that he uses to kill people with, and it's insane. And he does a little dance with it, and it's quite a sight to see. And at only like 80 something minutes, it doesn't take up much of your time. I was very, very, the big off-put that I have was that the tone goes up and down, zigzagging in a way that doesn't benefit it. There is this very intense scene where the butler of the Usher house and his wife, who's a maid there, are having, a fight and a snap back and forth with each other, and they're having a small domestic quarrel, and then out of nowhere he just grabs her hand and then shoves it into a meat grinder and starts turning the meat grinder, and you think that her hand is going through it, but it's actually just leftover meat, and he lets go of her hand and says, "Next time." So the movie shifts tones constantly from calm to fucking 500. So yeah, if you're looking for a blind buy from Vinegar Syndrome, I guess you can't go wrong here. I'm glad I own it because I like having a piece of Donald Pleasance material in the house, but I don't know how to recommend it fully to people. But I'm glad that Vinegar Syndrome put it out because it seems like nobody else would have. And then the last things that I watched were for Ballyhoo. I rewatched The Invisible Man. Mr. Ryan Frost and I talked about it on the show, and you'll be able to hear that in October because the entire month of October is horror themed. You will be getting Bride of Frankenstein, you will be getting Dracula, you will be getting Invisible Man, and you will be getting The Thing from Another World. So it's a big old month full of monsters. And then the last thing I watched for Ballyhoo was I revisited The Hustler. I had not seen that movie in a long time, Ryan. It's a lot sadder than I remembered.
Yep.
I always knew that that movie was sad and The Color of Money has similar sad elements, but I just forgot about how much Piper Laurie gets mentally kicked the shit out of in that movie, but leading to what happens to her in the movie. And also, I'm so used to remembering the Minnesota Fats relationship that I forget that George C. Scott's a much bigger part of that movie as Bert. It's just like, The Hustler is just not something I go back to that often. So going back to it, I appreciate it more now than I did then because it's about addiction and about him finding self-awareness. And it's going to make my rewatch of The Color of Money even better because I'm just going to be able to embrace this now as an adult and not as a high schooler trying to get into movies. So yeah, a lot of fun. If you haven't seen The Hustler, check it out. I know Ryan likes it. So if you need two nerd recommendations, there it is. And, that's all I've been watching.
2 out of 3 nerds can't be wrong.
Also, by the way, Ryan, I don't know if you remember it, Jackie Gleason's performance in the movie, but he is so fucking understated. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's good.
I love it. I love it when he just acquiesces to Felson's talent at the end. It's just this small gesture of like, I get it, bro. And then he just walks off and he leaves Bert to be a fucking sad, lonely action addict. It's just fantastic. Anyway, yeah.
I was traveling a lot, so I saw only a few things. I've been watching Buffy. Buffy's a lot of fun. Season 4 is maybe my least favorite season of Buffy, just because the big bad in it is this group called the Initiative. It's just boring. And then there's my least favorite episode is one called Beer Bad. And the premise is a bartender is serving the Neanderthals of college beer that turns them into cave people. I thought just because the cave people like stuff drove me crazy, but as I was rewatching the episode, I realized what drove me crazy is Buffy pining over this douchebag that she slept with, and he, ignored her, like ghosted her. And it's just really out of character for her. And I think that's what really bothered me about the episode. I could care less about, I guess, the cave people. I've been watching Spidey and His Amazing Friends, which is a preschool Spider-Man TV show.
So I was going to say, because of Buffy, Anthony Head is a prominent character in Ted Lasso.
Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah. Sorry, continue.
No, that's fine. No, see, now that you say stuff like that, I should watch it on your recommendation, not Corinne's, and that Anthony Head is in it.
I know for weeks I've been like, I keep forgetting to tell Ryan that the guy from Buffy's in the show, and like it's made by people from Scrubs. Like it seems like something you should be watching.
Yeah.
Ryan, what if I told you that Bruce Campbell is in every Jack Benny movie?
Yep, happening.
I don't believe you, but
but I'm going to watch every one just to see.
I'm just put an earworm in there.
But Spidey and His Amazing Friends is just silly. They all have, so it's Spider-Man, Spider, Gwen, and Miles are all in it, but they all have small kid voices, so it's really cute. And then the villains in it, whether it's the Green Goblin or Doc Ock or something, their dastardly plans are stealing a book from the library because there's a passage in it that he wants. And the pumpkin bombs, they don't blow up. They just cover. I mean, if you take it the wrong way, I giggle at it. They get covered in goblin goo. And the other ones he throws release giggle gas. So they laugh too hard while he's like taking like ice cream or something from the ice cream man.
Is it a little kid version of Willem Dafoe?
No. He's not. No, the Green Goblin in it is not insane at all. He's literally just a goofy little kid who steals ice cream. But there's some charm to it. Like it's like pretty cute. On the horror movie side, I saw The Hunt, which I watched with my wife, and my wife enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it, it's about these people that are kidnapped and placed in a field, and they're being hunted by liberals, and all the people that are put in the field are deplorables, but they make a mistake. Oh, I shouldn't say it. Anyways, this one person fights back, and my wife really liked this part where the main character, she figures out that she's not where they say they are because the price of cigarettes isn't the right amount. And she jumps over and she points the gun at one of the bad people. And the lady says, "No, please." And she said, "How did you know?" And she said, "A pack of cigarettes cost $6 in Arkansas. You done fucked up, bitch." And my wife thought it was really funny.
Did Laura used to smoke, right?
She did.
Yeah. So then that's a joke. That when I saw that in the theater, I giggled too because I'm like, yeah, I'd call that out.
Yeah, but the movie's really fun. I know Brad didn't like it as much as I did, but rewatching it and I had a lot of fun with the liberal elites, some of their banter back and forth when they're in the bunker. And you have to see it. It's really funny.
The audacity that it has to call itself a horror movie when Battle Royale is not even classified as a horror movie. I just, God.
I know.
God.
Well,
God.
telling you.
Brad Blumhouse knows what it's doing. And also, Ryan, does this mean The Hunger Games is a horror movie?
I mean, it could be considered one, I guess.
It might as well be if we're going to call The Hunt a horror movie.
What's the horrifying part of Hunger Games? Donald Sutherland's malevolent attitude?
Sitting through it.
Hey-o.
Oh.
Yeah. And man, I literally just lost my train of thought. I watched another horror film this week, and luckily I keep track of them somewhere in my feed.
Yeah, Hunger Games, action, adventure, sci-fi, not horror.
Yeah. And my other one was another Blumhouse is Freaky, which is Vince Vaughn is a serial killer, kind of like Jason, and he stabs a girl with an Aztec knife, and they switch bodies. So it's a really fun movie, and it's pretty gory. And if you like slasher films, it's kind of a fun little take on the slasher genre.
Agreed. I liked it in RPX.
Yeah, it's fun. And that's all I watched this week. This week on Real Nerds, we went and saw Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Brad, do you recommend Venom 2?
Not really. One of the few times that I sat down and scribbled out all my thoughts in great detail about this movie, which you can read on Letterboxd. And
I did read those on Letterboxd because I saw you had a review.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Yeah, it's pretty long. Thank you to Jacob for liking it. And I'll post it on Real Nerds at some point. But I had some problems with it, and I was really bored through a lot of it. And I had a lot of fun with the original, the first one, but this one was just like, what a waste. I mean, I'm not familiar that well with Carnage from the comics, or Venom really from the comics, but I would have assumed Carnage was more of a threat and more interesting than what we got. So yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, you assume wrong. Anyways, Zach, do you recommend Venom 2? I can't keep on saying Let There Be Carnage. I hate that subtitle.
They said it enough in the movie.
They sure did.
Venom Part 2. The French title. You know what? I liked it more than Venom 1. And I think a lot of that has to do with Andy Serkis being behind the camera and bringing something else to it, because this movie felt 10 times better in terms of its attitude and what it's looking to do with Venom. I had more fun with the character of Eddie Brock this time around. I am not Venom literate. I have no idea how much of this pertains to the comics itself or what Carnage's representation is. I looked at this solely as a solid B movie, superhero movie, which I think that they fully understood that's what it was after the reception of the first one, because the first one is just, to me, felt like a mess. And this one felt like it cleaned up the mess and understood it's allowed to be silly and allowed to push some boundaries. This movie felt like it should have been rated R at many times throughout the screening. And I was like, I'm amazed they got away with a PG-13 rating on this. But it's small things. It's nothing big. It's not when he says fuck. It's more just like there's just certain elements where I'm like, if you let that scene go on a little longer, you can get some blood and guts out of that thing. But again, since I'm in the minority on this one, I already know your guys' thoughts on it from Letterboxd star rating. I guess I'm the lone person who says, like, I would see it if you're interested in continuing the Venom mythos and you want to see what Andy Serkis did with it, but the movie still has flaws, much like the first one did. And I mean, overall, I don't think it's going to fully stick with me weeks down the line into Filmsplosion. So, I mean, sure, why not? If you got nothing else to do until Halloween Kills comes out, which will be the superior October movie, then yeah, I guess go right ahead.
I'd like to add, because I shit on it a bunch, like, it was fun. Like, the fun part is watching Eddie Brock and Venom fight each other.
Mm-hmm.
But when you talk about the R rating, I went to the kiosk to get my ticket, and it asked me if I was old enough to watch the movie. I was like, did I miss something? Was Venom rated R? That's cool. I guess we'll actually see, like, Cletus Cassidy do some awesome kills, right? And then I watched the movie expecting gore and violence at an R-rated level. I was like, this is pretty PG-13 tame. And I was right. It is still PG-13.
I think I'm looking at it at a matter of how certain shots are composed and certain things that they're attempting to do with the brutality. Again, and a lot of it has to do with what Carnage is implying. It's not necessarily what Carnage does.
Yeah, no, I mean, this movie is the same problem I have with the first Venom. Is I actually think it's kind of a chaotic mess. And where I think Tom Hardy gives a very committed performance. I actually think the banter between him and Venom is kind of headache inducing, and Venom's trying to be funny, and I don't think he's that funny. My problem with it too is being a big Spider-Man fan is, to answer your question, Brad, no, Carnage isn't that more deep, just like Venom isn't that deep of a character. And yeah, I mean, it was okay. Yep, it's okay. Here's the trailer for Venom 2.
Eddie, we should be out there snacking on bad guys. I am a predator. I need to be free.
You have got to get control of your aggression, or you will get hauled off into Area 51. You live in my body. You live by my rules.
I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. Please let me fix it so I can play it again. You are a loser.
Eddie Brock, I want to give you my story. People love serial killers.
Please, why me?
What's mine is yours. And what's yours is mine. I have tasted blood before, and that is not it. All I ever wanted in this world is carnage. I'm not a crazy man. I am a vengeful one.
Oh, shit!
Whoa, where you going?
That is a red one!
You need to come out right now. I will let you eat everybody!
Promise!
I promise!
Oh, yeah!
Betty, you feel like home to me. Like family.
Oh, wow.
You could just say I'm happy for you.
That was going to be us!
I am happy for you.
No!
God, I'm so sorry.
Not sorry!
This dude needs some serious couples counseling.
Ryan, can I do the synopsis?
Yes.
So, Venom, Let There Be Carnage is about a convicted serial killer who wants to marry his reform school sweetheart. Meanwhile, the odd couple, featuring Eddie and Venom, fight, break up, and fall in love. They foil an interracial wedding. The end. Directed by Andy Serkis.
Spot on.
That's the plot. That's what happened.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
they the one thing I will say about this film that I did appreciate is it got to the point of the film really quickly. There wasn't a lot of like fluff, but
yeah, it was very brisk.
Yeah,
like it was over already.
The problem too is you don't. I know Carnage in the comics is stronger than Spider-Man and Venom, but at the end when Venom's fighting him, he doesn't want to fight him because he's like, he'll kill us because he's red. He doesn't really explain it, and then he decides he's going to fight because Eddie Brock says he can eat the people, and so. But when he's fighting, he's such a little bitch. He just gets his ass kicked the whole time, and he ends up winning because Cletus and Carnage can't work together because Carnage wants to kill Cletus's wife, and Cletus is fighting him about it.
Is Cletus's wife an X-Man, Ryan?
She does have ties to it. She really became popular in this story is from 1994, Maximum Carnage, where they had her and Carnage were like husband and wife, and they quote unquote adopted other supervillains to raise carnage in the streets of Manhattan. And
oh my god,
it was like,
I thought she was created for this movie.
no, she's Maximum Carnage was a 14-part series in Spider-Man, and it was everything that the 90s of comics are, where it's really like bombastic and the storyline isn't that deep.
They turned into a video game.
They did, and the video game is a beat 'em up. It's all right.
Did you like fight Carnage at a church during his wedding at the end in the game?
No. But yeah, it's I don't know. Like I said, Tom Hardy's really committed to it, and he's fun to watch on screen. But also, I don't like his I'm a sad sack all the time. And I mean, Woody Harrelson's having fun. And I mean, I kind of agree with Brad. The violence is so hypercut, and I mean, I don't think it was pushing an R rating at all.
Yeah, a lot of it was implied.
Yeah, I mean,
sometimes
I get
the
that
thought of it is enough to push it in that boundary. I mean,
I
that's the way I was
so,
able to look at it. But
yeah, it's just a lot of stuff that I don't know. It's like the first one. I mean, the first one's okay. This one is okay. They really need, to me, they need a moral compass in it, and someone like Spider-Man. Oh wait, he is in this kind of. And I don't know. I'm still not.
I guess it's part of the MCU now, huh?
Yeah, I guess something happened where he got pushed into the MCU. So I don't know if they're going to actually do a Spider-Man versus Venom, which the whole time I was thinking, I said, well, now you're going to have two franchises that are going to be competing with each other. Where how much do you have Venom in a Spider-Man movie, or how much do you have Spider-Man in a Venom movie?
I thought they were leading up to Sinister Six, because we have also got Morbius or whatever the Morbius coming out.
Yeah, I mean, they could, but I mean, so is it going to be Venom teaming up against? I mean, I guess it's implied that he's going to fight Spider-Man because he licks him on the TV screen. But I mean, I guess you could have Morbius, Venom, the Vulture. And I don't know. And a big payday for Tom Holland.
Brad, I read some of your notes. Can I read my favorite? Can I read? I have two favorite ones. The first one is Eddie and Venom escaping the church reminded me at the end of the Dark Knight except where Harvey Dent is a wimpy hero and Rachel is still alive.
I mean, and then almost shot for shot, very similar.
Yep. And numerous buttons to scenes where you expect someone to say something cool or clever, and it's just something like, oh, happy day.
That's what Shriek said when she got that random cop dude, just like,
I know.
Yeah.
And then my favorite one is just you being autobiographical. This movie was PG-13, right? The ticket kiosk asked me if I was old enough to watch it. So then for a good chunk of the film, I was expecting the carnage I'd heard fans wanted for years.
Yeah, growing up, I heard this serial killer, like remorseless serial killer, just murdered his way through people, and I didn't get that from this movie.
I don't know.
And he does murder a bunch of cops in the prison, I guess.
Yeah,
he
but
stomps on their fucking feet. I like the death in when he breaks into that convenience store and he hops over the counter and kicks the shit out of the convenience store clerk. Like, it's fucking brutal, and you don't need to see a thing. You just hear the kicking. Like, it's good sound design. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm just saying I appreciate what he does with it.
The convenience store. How the hell?
I wrote about that.
Did you? How did he tap into the internet?
Yeah. So Carnage goes to a random gas station to hack the internet instead of just grabbing a cell phone from anyone off the street before he steals the car, right? And then he picks a gas station to do this. And then, like, there's an attendant who just happens to have a laptop, and then he just puts his finger in the laptop and, like, I guess surfs the web so he can get to the asylum.
Yeah, and so everyone thinks that she's dead. Is she, like, on the dark web? Is that what he accessed? I don't get it.
he literally just shows like the one doctor is harassing her, right?
Yeah.
And then he just drops in from the ceiling. Like,
Yeah.
was there a time jump, or did he literally like digitize
honestly,
himself like Tron and then pop out in the asylum?
I honestly think that they're like, you know what, we could explain it, but fuck it, let's just drop him back here. I don't care.
They're at Ravencroft, right? So I mean, it's not like a dark web thing. That would be like a fucking like that's a known entity in the Marvel universe, right?
Was Ravencroft the place in the New Mutants movie?
Maybe. I know it's in Amazing Spider-Man 2. That's where they have Electro.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember though. I've only seen New Mutants once.
Gosh, we could go through a lot of my notes. I'm reading them again myself. So Eddie Brock is wearing a Detroit Lions jacket, even though he's a Bay Area resident. Okay.
Well, maybe he's a transplant.
Yeah, you never know. He could be. It's like Californians who come to Denver. They wear LA Dodger shirts when they know that's the wrong idea.
Also, how does Carnage work? Because is he so Cletus Cassidy bites Eddie Brock, who I assume his blood and Venom's is mixed at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then is that a piece of Venom that when merged with Cassidy, like all of Cassidy's like Mania is combined with it, or is it like
something like that? In the comics they're cellmates, and a part of Venom goes and just bonds with him. So I mean, I guess this makes more sense. I don't know.
Well, Carnage keeps calling like Venom dad, but Venom keeps acting like another symbiote just dropped out of the sky, like he's different. He doesn't understand that, like, oh yeah, a piece of me is over there, like the T-1000 is accountable, like he knows when there's a piece of him missing, but Venom doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I've said, the characters aren't that strong to begin with. I mean, Venom's gone on. I think he has something almost 200 issues in a series, but they take him to space and all this other stuff. I don't know. I don't read it because I'm not a Venom fan at all. But I mean, when he pops up in Spider-Man, I'm okay. He's in Spider-Man, but I mean, he's obviously really popular because this movie made $90 million this weekend.
Yeah. The FBI agent, I think it was FBI, he gets his eye squished, and then at the end of the movie, he like wakes up and his eyes are glowing. Like, what's that about?
I looked it up on Wikipedia. He apparently becomes something called toxin.
Yeah, so that's another symbiote. And
how does Shriek make a symbiote?
I don't know. I'm guessing they're doing a little creative licensing, so he'll be like Shriek. But how did Shriek transfer her powers to him after she hung him? I don't understand what's going on.
So confused.
I just like the idea of Stephen Graham being in a Marvel movie now. At last, we're getting one of Scorsese's famous new discoveries into the Marvel universe.
That was a famous guy.
I love Stephen Graham, dude. He's popped up all over Disney. He's been in Scorsese joints with Boardwalk Empire and Irishman. He's fucking great. I can't wait to see what he does. I will go see a Venom 3 just to watch him be the bad guy.
I guess.
So also Eddie and Venom like have an argument about how Venom can't survive on chicken and chocolate all the time, but at the end of the movie they're all good and they hide out on a deserted island. Like, where are they even gonna get chicken and chocolate? Yeah, they're definitely not getting more people.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on at all. Yep.
Guys, it's a goofy buddy movie disguised as a superhero movie. I guess we just got to accept that. Just come into my camp and you'll just enjoy it more. You don't have to love it. You'll just enjoy it more.
And after Venom leaves, Eddie like drops off his Sonny and Cher chickens in the park. And then I guess like 2-3 days later, they're still at that statue.
They don't know how to...
are still eating in that grass.
Brad, those chickens love Don Quixote. Don't you love Don Quixote?
Yeah, I didn't even understand what he was talking about.
Oh, it makes sense. It's, Don Quixote and Sancho Panza have different conflicts with each other, but they still work together. And that's the impetus of the theme that they're discussing between Eddie and Venom. So,
well, I missed that because I sat there going like, really? They're going to quote like Don Quixote and relate that to the movie right now. Like, oh, I missed what they were talking about. Shoot.
Yeah, let's keep in mind, this is a sequel to a first movie that took itself almost way too seriously. I appreciated that this movie decided, fuck it, we don't care.
Poor Michelle Williams, like so little to do.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a sad thing to see. She's like barely in this movie.
Oscar-winning Michelle Williams.
Yeah,
And then
gotta
her
make money so you can
fiance.
make the good projects, my friend.
I didn't realize her fiance was also in the church. So when he just pops up, like dumping the gasoline on him, just like, that's. I guess the audience thinks this is funny.
Yeah, I know. I was the only one in my theater.
Oh, lucky.
I know, and it was like one of the biggest theaters in the Mills. I really wanted to see it at Alamo because I have the season pass for free, but they didn't have very many showings today.
It's a Monday.
Yeah.
They've got to
Also,
get the,
RIP
they got
to
get
Denver West.
Yeah.
Denver West, the UA theater.
Yeah.
Yep.
What happened? Just shut down?
Yep.
Wow.
I mean, I'm
Fuck.
surprised it lasted this long, being like across from another UA.
Well, yeah, and also it was basically their, art house one.
Yeah.
And the last time I was there, I mean, it was a while ago, but they didn't even put marquees up. It was construction colored paper that told you what theater to go to. So hopefully, I mean, you really can't do much with that building except maybe upgrade it to a better theater. So hopefully they'll do that.
And maybe someone like Harkins will come in and take it over because, well, I guess they have Old Town. What's the other one that we don't have?
The Brad Haig Only Me Theater.
Well, there's really no AMC in that area. I mean,
Oh,
the closest
that's
one
right.
is Littleton.
Yeah, AMC should probably jump in there and, well, I mean, it's still right across the street from another theater, which is tough.
Yeah, I don't know.
Again, Brad, make a theater where only you are allowed to attend.
Yeah, just Brad's. I mean, God, I would totally do that if I was that flush with cash. I would just buy that and make it exclusive private theater. I mean, it's the one I went to in high school and got into doing this stuff with. So that's why it's sad for me to see it go.
That's how I feel about the Cinnabar on Arapahoe. I worked there for 5 years, and I'm like, this was my home for so long. Why does Regal still own this fucking place?
They'll probably do what like Best Buy did up in Flatirons. They'll just knock it over and put something else, some other big box in its place.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where they'll put the new second spin, Brad.
There's never be another second spin.
Shut up. We've got a hope.
It'll probably just be like, I don't know, like a mega Starbucks or something.
Oddly enough, it's
or
a
mattress
shop
store.
Oh God. I'm gonna get rid of the cool DVD and Blu-ray players, and I'm gonna make separate sections to increase more rent and more business. But nope, Mattress Factory or whatever the fuck. Fucking thing.
Yep. Well,
Sorry, that still pisses me off.
Did I talk
Anywho.
about how this movie has nothing to say about anything?
Yeah, it just exists. Anywho, next week is James Bond, No Time to Die.
What's the name
So
again?
that's fun. What's up?
What's the name again?
No Time to Die?
No. What's the name of the main character in there?
James Bond.
Oh, you mean Bond? James Bond? Come on, Ryan.
Yep, it's James Bond. So that's cool.
Set
We're
you
going
up.
to have like a new movie every week in October and like a big movie. So
Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah,
And a little bit of November.
that's right.
And I
Yeah,
think we're
so
getting Film Explosion 2011 pretty soon. So
Yeah. I'll have to look at the schedule and see when a good time for us to do it is.
Remember, if you don't send us your list, you won't be a real hero or a real human being.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's either going to be between Eternals and Ghostbusters or after Encanto.
Yeah. We'll have to figure it out. Try not to put 2 in December. So, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, sure will. We always do.
And until next week, see you at the theaters. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Real Nerds Podcast. Real Nerds Podcast is a production of Nebulous Visions Multimedia. Thank you to Sparks Mandrill and Plan 9 Studios for our kick-ass theme song. Also, if you're in the Denver area and you're looking for a cool place to see movies, we see them at the Alamo Draft House in Littleton and now also in Sloan's Lake. Thank you to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics for supplying us with all our comic needs, especially you, Andrew. You know who you are. And a big shout out to James's mom. I'm giving you an electronic hug that you can feel through the airwaves. Thanks for listening, and have a nice day.